Hey guys, just doing a bit of prep for the upcoming Sydney Sheep Station shootout, and I thought I'd share some secrets in relation to preserving wheel bearings in your front wheel drive car. So you'll likely find that the best bearings that you will get are OEM. So these are two wrecking yard bearings off a Mazda 3 that's done probably about 120,000 Ks. I've found that they generally are pretty good with a service and the magic trick of agri-grease. What I'm going to do is just pop these apart and show you how to re-grease them. Not actually replace the bearing. I'll probably do another video on replacing a bearing later. I've found that just using the OEM bearing a few times and just repacking it actually gets you some pretty good results. So let's pull one apart. So the only special tool you really need to do this is a workshop press. I mean, a lot of people have access to them. Some people won't. It is a pretty basic tool to have, so hopefully you can get hold of one with a mate or something like that. Little spacer so we can actually press the center hub out. See the center's starting to come out. Pretty easy. I do need to use two hands here in a second, so we'll just put the camera down. Just keep that pressing out until we get it out. So we've got the two components apart now, and as you can see, that bearing's actually still in really good condition. The factory grease is still pretty good, and the bearing surface is really good. The issue I have found with these when we race them is that there's just not enough grease in the bearings. There's enough in there to get you through day-to-day driving, but the amount of heat that we put through the brakes and just the continual use, the grease that they install in even the new bearings isn't enough, so we even lubricate the brand new bearings when we fit them. So I found the best thing here is, because that grease looks pretty good, I'm actually going to leave that grease in. And we're going to go to the good old agri-grease, get a couple of fingers of it, and just start laying that into the bearing. You actually see the little gap at the back of the balls there. There's another set of those balls in the inside runner. We can't actually get to that without destroying the wheel bearing, so we leave that one together and we work our way around the bearing, packing that grease in. So as you can see there now, that's nicely packed. Those outside balls are actually full of the grease, and we've also packed a fair amount into the inside bearing. Rightio, so we're back at the press and we're ready to put our bearing hub back together. So just have a bit of a thought process about how you're going to do it. These are Mazda 3, BKBL Mazda 3. Most front wheel drive cars will be similar, but the process of actually disassembly and reassembly might be a little bit different. Obviously, if I just put this flat down here, I'm going to press my studs back out. So we want a spacer. I'm just going to sit that on the hub, like so. Bring the inner hub in, set it all up and get it nice and straight. Again, we're just going to have to get a series of spacers ready. So we actually just want to press directly onto the hub, not actually the inside bearing. I'm just going to get this nice and straight. So we just want to make sure that that's nice and even as we start pressing, because if we're not, we'll actually start damaging the bearing. There we go. Press that all the way in. Once you feel it get nice and firm, that's enough. And we stop, release the pressure, and we're done. So what we have now is a OEM Japanese quality bearing that's been repacked, ready to go. So some cars also have ABS sensors. These do remain working the way that I pull them apart because the rear bearing is the one that has the ABS sensor in it. You might destroy it with some cars. I can't guarantee that's not going to happen. We don't use the ABS in one of the cars, so it's not too critical for some of the ones we do. But I've repacked 6 of these in probably half an hour, and that's slowed me down because of making the video as well. So something that's very achievable, will give you good longevity. And thanks to the Buccaneers for recommendation of the Agri-Grease. Just finishing up, we've got a Japanese CBC supplied bearing via NTN in Japan, which is probably the best aftermarket bearing you'll find, but as you can see, hardly any grease in that bearing. It's enough obviously for daily driving, but for what we do, nowhere near enough. So these get greased even before we use a new one. This is a MKA bearing, which is apparently also Japanese, by one of the big box stores, and hardly any grease. So the reason we started doing what we do is because we had a series of failures. Some of the bearings weren't even making one race. So I had a chat to Buccaneers, and we came up with the they came up with the recommendation of the Agri-Grease repacking, and we haven't lost the wheel bearing since. The issue with losing the wheel bearing in this car is that when the wheel bearing goes and you don't quite know about it, it also destroys the front drive shaft. So anyway, we'll get on to repacking the drive shafts in another video. See you soon.